What's up, everybody? As you can see, it is me and Lindsay. Everyone is at the Nova Open, and so we wish everyone super good luck. I know a lot of people are traveling out to it right now, but yeah, hobby stream. How you feeling? Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're going to be working on some Sylvaneth
Yeah,
stuff,
some
right?
Sylvaneth. I've got some trees that look really angry. So I'm hoping to calm them a bit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've seen anyone play with Sylvaneth models. I've seen people like put them together a lot. But yeah, they're such a cool army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I have the dragon like skeleton thing from the Thondian Stronghold box, and I've already painted one before, but I just like it too much to not like do it. So, you know, yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's do this.
Let's get creative. Sweet. So this is the one that I painted last time, and I shared some pictures of it, but I don't think I've ever shown it off on stream before. This is going to match the cherry blossom board that I have been working on for like several months now. But I needed more scatter terrain, and I really, really, really like this kit. I'm going to paint it up a little bit different, but pretty much the same. I kind of want to weather it to be a little bit more like mossy looking than this one is. This one's kind of dry, but yeah, and then your Sylvaneth would look awesome on this board, I
think. They would love to frolic around.
Yeah. That is my goal with this board. I want people to frolic. I think that would be super fun. Yeah. So I think my goal for tonight is to see how far we can get. And I kind of want to challenge myself to see how quickly I can do it, while also like changing it around a bit. I painted this so long ago that I don't remember each step I took. So, you know, it's going to be great. So, yeah. Anyway, sweet. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have primed this, and then I sprayed Talaran sand on it. I think the original one that I did Xandri dust, but I couldn't find Xandri dust in the studio today. I think Zach might have taken it home or something. So, you know, it's great. I just feel handicapped already, but I don't really think it matters too much. So, what made you pick Sylvaneth?
Yeah, I love the Sylvaneth. When I first was introduced to Warhammer, you know, of course, I looked at all the different armies in 40K and in AOS, and the one that spoke to me were the trees.
Yeah.
I love the trees. I love nature. They're a little angry for me, but they've really grown on me.
The angriness or just the trees?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like fierce trees, they're gonna poke your eyes out. Like I'm into it now. So yeah, and so I've been collecting them for 4 years now, just about.
Wow.
Yeah, and slowly I'm painting them. I'm getting there.
At least you're making progress.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
I don't think I can say too much about that. I think everyone here knows I'm a very slow painter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I picked up like Gloomspite earlier this year, and I first hit a snag where like there was nothing available and everything was sold out. And I think now that's not the case anymore. But then when I was like, okay, well, I don't want to buy models just to buy models, which is what I normally do. I'm going to put together a list and get that going. And then it was like 60 of the same thing. And it hurt a little bit. So, yeah. I mean, they're cute. I like them. But that definitely is what has made it so that I don't know. Yeah, I kind of got a little sad.
Yeah. Did you ever finish painting them? No judgment.
No.
Yeah.
No. Actually, I think they're like down there. So I got like the color schemes and stuff like that worked
Okay.
out, which is great. And then I promptly forgot all of it, which is not super helpful.
Yeah.
But it just also was like I kind of wanted more variety, and then I started looking into like custom sculpts and stuff.
Oh.
And those are kind of expensive, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll do them for like, I don't know, some of the big guys or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
That'll happen. Yeah, I for these Sylvaneth, I got them. I started collecting about 4 years ago. I started painting them about 4 years ago. And in the last 4 years, I have picked them up and then put them back down. I easily forgotten their whole paint scheme, then had to recreate it like many times.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of one thing though about Sylvaneth is that their nature. You can kind of do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of like armor that was all painted at the same exact
Yeah.
time in the same factory and whatever. But that makes me feel a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Painting stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like with Gloomspite, they can be all different kinds of colors. Like they're just
Yeah.
kind of, having fun.
Yeah. Well, mine are like pink and
Ooh,
purple, and
okay.
blue and stuff, and so we're just having fun. It was my whole concept for like cute hammer.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know, but like being like, oh, you need to put together 60 of these dudes, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Now, would you ever play with them, or just?
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to because I got really into Conquest.
Oh, yeah.
And I put together enough to be able to do like a First Blood army, so like about 1,000-ish points or 1,200. It just then it was like, okay, we're gonna go to like 2,000. I'm like, awesome, sweet, and I don't know, like there's just something that always hits where I'm like, there's like some sort of block there.
Yeah.
I have people to play with. We have a whole studio full of terrain.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like Zach has said it many times, that he'd be willing to like teach me how to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I feel it. Yeah, I totally get that. I find I enjoy just painting more. I enjoy just like collecting and kind of building my collection to what I want. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to playing, I'm like, ooh,
no.
yeah, like I would love to learn how to play Age of Sigmar, and I'm getting, especially like being here, I'm getting so much closer to learning how to play.
Right.
But I'm also I just have such a fun time, gathering my tree army.
Yeah, I like asking questions about it. I think it's super fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
But will I ever get to actually play? I don't know. I think it's a goal to strive towards, but I'm also not like hurting myself over not meeting it anytime soon. Like it's not disappointing to me at all.
Yeah. That's kind of nice thing about Warhammer though, is that there are many different ways too. There's many different aspects to the hobby.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a part of all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Like, and I can finish a table. I can finish a table.
Yeah.
Full of terrain. I can build out an entire world. I can do that. That sounds super fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
I will make progress on that like nobody's business. But I don't know. I think it's just like having everything the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think one day I'll get over it, because I am getting more into kit bashing and stuff, and I think that like helps a little bit, but yeah. Then the new stuff comes out and I'm like, oh, but that's super cute, but that's not Gloomspite.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I feel it.
it's It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foods is mentioning how clean the paper looks.
I know.
Wow. Hold on. I'm gonna...
It's a very quiet studio. It's a very pseudo clean studio. I did have to shame the guys earlier for some stuff. Ooh, yes.
There you go. Just to, you know.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not totally different, right? There you go.
That's the same color. Yeah, I did send the guys earlier a picture of something in the studio that I was like, I'm not judging, but also I'm kind of judging a little bit. Not saying anything and not pointing specific fingers, but maybe there's someone who just really likes to be free. And
so now you're making it sound like someone like left their underwear in. But no, they did not.
No, it's a pair of socks. It's a pair of socks who I don't know whose socks they are, but they're on the floor.
Someone's feet were running around free.
They're very brave individuals. So yeah, there's a pair of socks on the floor in the studio. I don't know if it's the worst thing I've seen on the floor in the studio, though. I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
So that says a lot, but maybe also not a whole lot.
It's a studio full of guys.
Yes.
I am surprised it's as clean as it is.
True.
In a way.
Or that you can, like, sort of find things in, like...
Yeah.
This is where it's supposed to go. I'm going to look in, like, a 5-foot radius of this.
Yes.
And I'll probably find it. In that 5-foot radius, which, you know, is great. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
No, they weren't Bridger socks, because Bridger was the first one to respond, being like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I can't confirm they weren't Bridger socks. I don't know whose they are, though. So, but it's also like, majority of them are traveling right now.
Yeah.
So,
and some of them have been traveling, or like they've been out of, they've been
gone for longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that eliminates some people. I think people who are very into Titans lore could probably name who they are. Yeah. There was also like I thought it was an empty Monster can, and I was like, okay, seriously, but it's full. It's just next to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's know what you guys are working on. And like, I don't know, does anyone else have the same, like, I feel so much better because coming in here and like seeing those like massive shelves of all those armies and like seeing how quickly Zach just pumps stuff out, it makes me feel a little bit bad.
Yeah.
But also I've just kind of learned to just be like, everyone paints at their own pace.
Yeah, I want to enjoy it. I want to continue enjoying it, and if I push myself,
you feel like you won't enjoy it anymore?
Yeah, I won't enjoy it anymore.
Or as much.
Or as much, yeah. So, I make it available. I always have something on my desk and paint on my desk. So when I'm feeling it, I'll paint.
I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that. That is better than me. I feel like you probably paint more than I do then at that point.
So, for example, this girlie right here. She was from the Echoes of Doom box.
Let's show her off really quick.
Yeah. I think I started her in June.
Yeah.
I started her in June, and I got her to where she is now. Now we're approaching September.
Okay.
And
like, percentage-wise, how done is she to you?
Ooh, she's like 50%.
Okay.
Yeah, I got like base colors kind of deal. So she has her base colors. I put in some water, or tried to. And then...
Oh, no, I see it. Yeah, the shiny,
Yeah, and that was just one layer, and I was like, okay, what's this going to look like? Boom. But yes.
What'd you use for that?
I use the AK water.
The still water?
Not the still water. I use the water effects. I used what I had
the
in
tub.
Yeah, the tub that smells like Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is it just Elmer's glue or is it just glue?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm also at the same. That tub of water gel effects has been sitting in my closet for like years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, it's a little bit better than what I do because honestly, I've had to rebuy those like big giant tubs.
Oh yeah.
Because I've left them in my car.
Oh no.
And they do not like heat. So, at least it's lasted this long.
Yeah.
I'm wondering though, like, does it have a shelf life on it?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. And so I tried it out. I tried it out on like a little like base that I wasn't using. And other than the strong glue smell, it was fine, I guess. I'm also not too experienced in like water effects.
Okay.
So I don't really have anything to base it off on.
Fair.
But yeah, it's doing what it needs to.
Yeah.
So.
You got some shiny water.
Got some shiny water, just to start off in her angry swamp.
Now, what got you into the hobby to begin with?
Well, I started working at Game Castle.
Ooh, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I started working at Game Castle, I came into Game Castle like, oh yeah, I know games. I've scrolled the section of Barnes and Noble and I play Coup and Munchkin. And I get there and I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot more. There's a lot more games out there than I thought. And one of them was Warhammer. And like the whole like miniature painting hobby.
Yeah.
Seth says it tastes like Elmer's glue too. So I'm convinced
that it's
Elmer's glue.
At least part Elmer's glue.
Yeah. Maybe they took out some water or something.
Yeah.
But anyway. So I started working at Game Castle. I was like, okay, I need to learn more about what I sell. Warhammer seems pretty cool.
There's a ton of people who play it.
Yeah. I think one of my first weeks there, we had a team meeting where we sat and someone taught us like the basic rules of how to play Age of Sigmar.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty cool. And then, I was like, I consider myself an artistic person. I'm gonna try to get into the hobby. I'm gonna try to, test out painting things. So I think I got the Tempest of Souls box and put those push fit models together and then just kind of threw some paint at it.
Okay, cool.
And then here I am. Yeah. It's not as exciting, but I've also always been in a creative world. I went to school for art. So when I came in and saw this, I was like, okay, that's probably where I'm gonna, what I'm gonna enjoy the most.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like we have like pretty similar stories at that point, though.
Yeah.
Like I had known about Warhammer, but I had never really like picked it up in any way until I started working at Game Castle. Working at a at a game store is like, here is everything all the time. Be tempted by everything all the time.
Yeah, right.
You are now like a mega fan of all of these things.
Yeah. Whether you play it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Taiwanese beer smells like Elmer's glue. That would be an interesting fact if I liked beer, I guess.
Yeah, right. Now I kind of want to try Taiwanese beer just to see that that sounds right. Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, now I am curious.
Mm-hmm.
I think I get curious and I'm like, do I like this? And then it's a no every single time. which same thing with coconut. I tried a coconut dessert over this past weekend, and even though my friend was like, no, it tastes like coconut, I'm like, I don't believe you for some reason. And I still ate it. It did in fact taste like coconut, and I did in fact not like it.
Wait, what was it?
It was like this like coconut pudding thing.
Oh.
But like I was eating one that had like fruit on top of it, and
Okay.
it didn't taste like coconut. And so I'm like, oh, well, why does this one taste like so much like coconut? Then? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you were like into board games
Yes.
before. Any like role-playing games or just like board games?
I think I had just started playing Dungeons and Dragons because I had found a group for
Okay.
the first time. And so, yeah, so I got more into Dungeons and Dragons. And and then working at Game Castle, I found out about all the other RPGs out there. And now it's just kind of trying to convince my group or whoever, to play other systems with me. Like,
Oh,
interesting. Let's
interesting.
play the Root RPG. Let's try it out.
That's so funny because it's like it was the opposite for my play group. Is there was one person who was a part of it who just really did not like D&D, and so it was always like a struggle to get like everyone together to play like our at that point like 2-year-long ongoing campaign.
Gosh.
And then it shifted from like, okay, every single week we're gonna play this to every other week just to make this one person who really didn't want to play D&D happy.
Yeah.
But then it also helped like expose me to all sorts of other RPGs. So, it was fun, but like
Yeah.
it was never like we didn't have a ongoing campaign for the other things, and so I was so much more interested in just playing
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah. That's what I enjoy about RPGs is just the story.
Yeah.
Which is, why I want to branch out of see what other stories I can create in other campaigns. That's the word I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, so Pelzer, the polychromatic, says, what shenanigans have I missed? Something.
Socks.
Yes, socks.
Socks.
And something glue, and something for no one has seen that. This is for Zach. We've hidden glitter all over the place.
Yes.
For you to find, Zach.
Yes.
Have fun.
Oh.
You let us free here.
I wonder if he's on another plane.
Oh, he's got to be. He's
Zach-
traveling all day today, right?
Yeah. Zach has had such bad luck with planes these past few days.
No. Yeah.
Which just adds on to the bad luck of like the reason why he was out for the past couple weeks. But he's feeling all better now. He's traveling, but also his flights got canceled. So
Yeah. Poor guy.
yeah, and then he gets to come back to a studio full of potential glitter.
Yes. Potential glitter.
Yeah,
We're here for 2 weeks.
we are.
So-
we are. You get us for next week too. So we have time
We have time to add.
to both hide more glitter and get more glitter and hide it again.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I don't know how Zach feels about glitter, but we're going to find out.
Yeah. I have a feeling he doesn't like it.
Yes,
He's-
I was thinking.
That's his hot take, but I also don't think it's really that much of a hot take. It's okay. I think maybe this will then prompt the guys to buy a vacuum.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like a simple vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
don't need much.
Yeah, then we
You
can
don't have
vacuum
very-
up whoever socks those are. Most memorable RPG. Yeah, I can go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Magical Schoolgirl RPG.
What?
Yeah, Magical Schoolgirl system. It's just a series of, I might have talked about it on stream before, but it's just a series of like a bunch of charts.
Okay.
And you just roll dice. You should ask Nick about it, because
I
he was the
will.
one who introduced me to it.
Yes.
it's just a bunch of charts that you roll, and then it like that determines your color, your like, you know, like avatar-ish in a sense. Like, is it ribbons? Is it flowers? Is it, you know, what kind of flower or something like that? I'm also like maybe butchering the heck out of it because it's been like 5+ years since I've played it. But yeah, and then it like goes into what your powers are and like how you transform and stuff. Yes. And then it was a thing where my group, we were a traveling band of like we were a J-pop group.
Oh my gosh.
And Rochelle was our dadager.
Yes, of course.
And yeah, she played a very grumpy old man, and it was fantastic.
I love it.
Also had a magical schoolgirl transformation because everyone in the group had to.
Yes. Now, did you get to like describe out your magical girl transformation, or was it just...
so like you rolled on it, and then it was then like, okay, this is what it is. But then when you get it actually into role playing, then it's like, I'm gonna describe everything that my character's doing. And it's also like one of the first RPGs that I played. So that definitely like broke all the barriers of like, you don't get to be shy.
Yes.
But it was fun of like, make it silly, which then helped like out the actual role playing aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone just would get super excited about like, oh, but what if you did this? And what if you backflipped off of this? And yeah.
Oh, so good.
So magical schoolgirl RPG.
Love it.
I don't even think it's a book. I think honestly Nick had like printed out pieces of paper or something.
Well,
so.
I feel like that's how Nick just has his RPGs. Like,
probably.
Because I feel like whenever I've played something with Nick, whenever I've played an RPG with Nick, it's kind of been how it is. He'll have like a binder of like printed out pages. Yeah. Or it'll be like one page.
Yeah. Or he'll have like a notebook or like a Post-it note.
Yes.
Yeah. And then everything else is in his head.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Yeah, now, okay, so I guess the most interesting one I've played, also from Nick, is it The Apocalypse? Powered by the Apocalypse?
Okay.
I think that's what it was. We did like a cyberpunk one.
Ooh,
that was really cool. And it was kind of like, no, it was very... And this may also just be his style, but it was very much like, you guys, this is the scenario. What do you want to do? Like, you all have your own strengths. What are you gonna do? And we all just kind of like, we talked our way through the whole thing.
That is very much his style, which I think is why he likes the Fate RPG so much. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Yeah, but. Yeah, I wish I could remember what the name of this one system that we played is. And honestly, I think one of our friends had made it up, but it was a thing where it was sort of like we were all a family that had like these weird, unique quirks, and Rochelle and I played maybe twins, or maybe we were the same person who had split personalities. You could never know. And so I don't know. I just, how funky things got.
It's so good.
With that group. It was great, but I modeled that character after Tanya the Evil, which is an anime of this little girl who's like super, like, evil, but she's really cute. So yeah.
Yes. Another good one that I played, which I think it was just the topic was the My Little Pony RPG. What is it, Tales from Equestria?
Okay.
So we tried to play the intro box, but the intro box plays very much like a choose your own adventure kind of deal. And so it was kind of weird. It was just a lot of reading. But then we ended up just taking it our own way. Once again, Nick was involved. And, we had a fun little adventure in Equestria. We all got to make our own cutie marks and yeah.
Were you into My Little Pony before this? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone wants to know about my experience with My Little Pony, let me know.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, tune in next week. Where you learn about the time that Lindsay went to a brony gathering.
Oh my gosh.
But
This is amazing. This makes my stress stream about running this stream so worth it. So worth it. You know, for anyone who wants to know about my stress stream, I will tell you it right now. It involved for some reason, you know, the gang thought it was a great idea to switch out all the cameras in the studio to be Google Street View cameras. And I didn't know how to work them, and I was really upset. And I was just like, why would they switch them out right before they're about to leave? This doesn't make any sense. I was supposed to come into the studio last week to learn how to like put up the thumbnail and make the thumbnail and everything like that. And then of course Zach had to go and get sick, so that couldn't happen.
yeah.
And so I wonder if that then led to my stress stream of me like not knowing how to do anything, even though I always set up the stream. I have a notebook, like a numbered, this is what you do first, this is what you do second, you know, so on and so forth, that I bring out every single time I come in here. And just for some reason, they were like, nah, I think it'd be super cool if we got some Google Street View cameras. It'd be such an awesome experience. It'd be like the audience is actually here.
Through Google. Oh.
So, you know, things have been great.
Yeah.
Things have been great. I think things are going to be awesome for these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I can't wait. I can't wait. We're going to definitely save your story for next week. Tune in next week if you want to hear about the My Little Pony convention. Is it
it was
BronyCon or
it wasn't a brony convention, or it wasn't a My Little Pony convention. It was a brony gathering in the plaza of a big shopping area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we will save this for next week.
Yeah.
Now, are there any other like fan meetups that you've gone to before?
Like,
Or is it just My Little Pony? It was like that hit it for you.
No, I've been to many other fan like meetups of other things.
Okay.
I just kind of stumbled upon the the brony meetup. Yeah.
Okay. We'll tune in next week.
Yeah. That's a nice fun fact.
I think, yeah, instead of like Zach's hot takes, we're just gonna be learning a lot about
My Little Pony. But My Little Pony and
RPGs.
Yeah. RPGs.
And board
there we
games
go.
as well too.
Oh, yes.
Board games. Because, you know, it's Lindsay and I, and we're both tabletop gamers, but in like a different aspect of this.
Mm-hmm.
And we happen to be hobbyists, but also we're multifaceted.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be talking about some board games and some RPGs and some ponies. Yes, Bryce, I think so. I still haven't learned how to make thumbnails, but I'm sure Adrian won't be confused when I ask him to make next week's thumbnails just all ponies.
So as a theme for next week, can we get like the
Whiz
Kids
the Whiz
has
Kids,
the My Little
yeah.
Pony figures. We can make our own cutie marks. We can
Yeah.
make our own ponies.
I wonder.
There we go.
I wonder if we have any still.
Someone's got to.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. We got ways.
We'll find horses in some aspect. Yeah.
I think I have some Age of Sigmar horses.
Don't Zach's daughters like ride on horses?
Mm.
We'll just repaint them. I think Zach will really enjoy that.
Yes.
I think that'd be super awesome.
Yeah.
With the glitter and the repainted daughters that he's been working really hard on. Be great.
Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be good.
All right, now
So how you doing?
dry brush the heck out of these, and I think I'm gonna wash it down and then dry brush again, so everyone can see my process of like how much I really just slap on stuff when I'm like doing things. I don't know if that made any sense. I hope it did. I really hope it did. But anyway, I have this snakebite leather contrast paint here, and I'm just gonna go straight in.
So how long did it take you to paint the first set of those? And how long are you trying to paint this in?
So paint, I want to say probably like a couple hours.
Okay.
So I think I can get everything painted at least. But basing it probably took like 2 more hours on top of that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's mainly just because like I tend to get things like soaking when I'm doing like, especially washing, like I just cover everything in water and then slap paint on.
Yeah.
And then with the glue, I just like douse it in glue. So it really, I think a lot of it was just like dry time.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, like I will get a brush full of snakebite leather, and then instead of like dipping it back in, I will just add more water to it. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like when I'm painting terrain, and also just like in general, I think this is my philosophy in life and work and stuff. If I can make it as simple as possible, I will do it. But also like I don't know. I don't want to say standards because that makes it seem like I don't think anyone else does. But
your like own kind of standards that you like to uphold yourself to.
Yeah. Like I don't like making things super complicated just to make things super complicated because, you know, I make a bunch of like training documents and everything like that, and things need to be simple. And so if I can make something look really good, but then also like have it be really easy to follow, then that is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I dig it.
But it's a very visual thing instead of me being like, well, just get some snakebite leather and then some water and then just like have fun with it. But it's also like I'm not super worried about anything when I'm doing terrain. I think that's what makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, thank you, Michael Cody. Have a weekend so good that you're more comfortable than Lindsay among bronies and as prepared as Cat in a stress stream. Thank you, Michael Cody. Thank you. You know, it wasn't like a thing where the clock like every 5 seconds was like adding like 10 more minutes on top of everything. And I was trying to call everybody, and then there was a point where at like 6:45, I was able to get a hold of Zach and just be like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. Why did you change the camera?
Yeah.
But now I kind of want to see, like, what would a Google Street View camera look like if you were to live stream with it?
Would it turn everything into
Like fisheye like crazy? Yeah, I don't
just
know.
everything fisheye?
Yeah. Also in my dream, like the gyroscope on it was like super off, and so it just kept spinning around in a circle. But you know, it was great.
Yeah.
It's great. So where are you at on yours?
I am. So I'm using my little. When I paint, I like to jump around.
Yeah.
And so I'm using my little dryads as like a tester on what I want to do. So before I painted the bark on the dryads, and so I just used that on my Lady of Vines and kind of it filled out her vines and her limbs a bit. But now we're moving on to the leaves. And so, got my little dryad here.
Now, do you have like a season in mind when you're painting them?
Kind of. one of the things that took me so long to paint these guys were ooh, there goes a rock, was trying to decide what seasons I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna do multiple?
I think so. But I think I'm only gonna keep it to maybe autumn and like spring.
Okay.
So the equinoxes, so I have some dryads that are gonna have like autumn colors, and then some that are gonna have like, you know, with the dead leaves and all that, and then some that are gonna be filled with leaves and like, you know, bright greens and like budding growth, you know?
Flowers?
Oh, and flowers, yes.
Oh, okay.
I was definitely planning on putting some like moss and stuff on them, like on their vines and yeah. That would be lots of fun.
I think that'd be super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's incentive for me to finish my board.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have like the bigger buildings to do, but it was also like when it was handed to me, because they were 3D printed, it's like, you're gonna need wood filler, and I'm like, okay, shoot, okay. I don't have time for this right now. But you know, I'm glad that they're done and printed, and also a lot of work was like gone into like fixing the files and stuff, so I very much appreciate it. But they're still in a box. So yeah.
One day.
They're also at the Fremont store, and I keep forgetting them there, and I'm like, okay, bye guys, and then I'm like, I left my box again. I'm only there once a week, so you know, it's a thing. Now, you went to school for art. Was it like, have you always, because I guess the first time I've seen you be creative, other than like miniature painting and stuff, was like your digital art stuff, your streams that you're doing.
Yeah.
Did you go to school for digital art or something else?
I went for just regular studio art.
Okay.
So like drawing.
Okay.
And but when I got to my university, I didn't realize that there was a very strong digital side to things that was just emerging. So like when I got there was like maybe 1 or 2 classes in the art program that were digital. But what really encouraged it was the game design majors. Would bring on the art majors to help with their games. Mm-hmm. And so when I heard about that, I was like, okay, I'm sold, but first I got to learn Photoshop. And so that was pretty much my first year. It was just learning how to use Photoshop and you know, any digital program. Luckily, somehow I already had a tablet, so I just kind of busted out my tablet and was like, okay, ready to learn. And some of my first digital projects were, or Photoshop projects were. They're a special kind of.
Oh, do you still have them?
I do. I do.
Well, tune in next week.
Tune in next week to see a squirrel with bat wings going through. I think it was a squirrel with bat wings going through a portal in the middle of space. It was. Tune in next week. Yeah.
That's amazing, because I am just now learning Photoshop.
Okay, yeah.
And it has been a struggle because I'm doing it by myself.
Okay,
and so
yeah.
now it's just by myself asterisk. Like my friend is a digital artist, and so I will try and get to a point where, like, I will not ask her for any help, and unless I'm just like I can't. Any Google search I turn up has like, I'm not asking the right thing, or, you know, whatever has proved fruitless.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then I'm like, hey, how do you do this? And then in like 2 seconds, she's like, oh, do this. And I'm like, thank you.
I feel like there's, you know, I've been doing Photoshop, you know, using Photoshop for years now, and I still don't know half of what it can do. And really what makes, it's all in the shortcuts too.
Yeah.
I feel like once you know those shortcuts, then you can open up most photo editing programs and shortcut away.
Yeah.
Which is one of the nice things about learning Photoshop is that it is so generalized. Is that the word? Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The Google Sheets.
Yeah.
And Excel.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much like that.
Also learning, I guess, like higher functions in that as well too. And like trying to make the most of it. But, you know, it's been a struggle because it was definitely like, here's like in school, it's like, oh, here's how you do the basics of computering. I had a typing class.
Yes, typing classes.
And that's it.
Yes.
But then it's like, I'll get, you know, all these Excel files back, and it's like, oh yeah, I coded it to do this, and here's all these conditional formatting and stuff like that, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna reverse engineer this. I'm gonna click into every single cell, and I'm gonna see like what you're doing, because I get to a point where I'm like, I don't want to ask questions, and not because like, oh, I don't want it to make it seem like I don't know what I'm doing. I think I learn better when I'm figuring stuff out on my own.
Definitely.
And trial and error is definitely like a great thing, but trial and error with Photoshop it just doesn't happen. Like
there's a lot going on.
it just and I'm like, okay. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I totally get the whole, you know, working it out on your own, like reverse engineering it. Like I do the exact same. Yeah. It's I feel, you know, if I ask for help, they're going to show me how to do it, and I'm going to blank out. I'm just going to be like, okay, yes, but I have no idea what they did. You know, unless they force me to do it, I don't know. But yeah, it's just so much easier if I can just struggle through it myself.
Yeah, and then it's just such a bigger sense of accomplishment as well too. Yeah. So, you know.
I feel very proud of myself recently. I feel like a boss when I'm working through sheets. I'm not that great. I'm not that great at Excel. But I just figured out how to do equations. Oh. And I'm like, yes, I know this. I got this. I'm amazing. Everyone come to me for your Excel and questions, but please don't. Amazing. I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Amazing. Yeah.
You know, I overcomplicate all of my Google Sheets with like equations that go into like other sheets and that just aren't needed.
Yeah, fair. Or then like I'll get to a point where I'm like, oh, but I want this, but then like me putting that in there just messes everything up, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, that's how I feel with like Photoshop. I'm like, look at what I did. This is amazing. And then my friend's like, you could have like cut out like 3,000 steps in here. Why did you do it this way? Yeah. So, you know, it's been a thing. Yeah. It's been a thing. But
so what's your ultimate goal with learning Photoshop? Just to, you know, get that skill under your belt, or?
To not bug my friend anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Because like, I'll ask her questions of like, hey, if I want to do this, if I want to make, like recently with the LVO pictures and stuff like that, like we're trying to make like ads for it.
Yeah.
And I just took the LVO text that I got. I wanted to cut out the inside of the letters and then put like a picture behind it and like be able to see it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this as complicated as possible. So yeah. And then I figured it out. Well, okay, I asked her one question, but I feel like a Photoshop wizard, and I figured it out. And then I was able to like do all the rest of the pictures in like, I don't know, like a minute each.
Yeah.
And it was great, but it was a thing where like I felt like I had hit my like peak of Microsoft Paint.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
I wanted to do more, but then I also find myself still going back to Microsoft Paint because I'm like, I know how to do this in Microsoft Paint, and then I get frustrated with Photoshop.
Yeah. Have you discovered Google Drawing yet?
No.
So okay, Rochelle showed me Google Drawing, and it's nothing close to what Photoshop can do.
Okay.
But it takes a lot of it takes a lot of the basics and just there it is. So it's yeah. Like I do anything I make for the Santa Clara store.
Okay.
I do it in Google Drawing.
Oh.
It's and same with Rochelle. It's because you can drop in you can alter the canvas size to how big you want. You can add in text. You can add in shapes. You can crop things. You don't have layers, but you can kind of work around that, like especially if you know Photoshop or if you're familiar with it. You can do very, very basic things. But oh my gosh, it saved my life. And like, if you're doing simple things that like a word processor can't, or that like Photoshop, or not Photoshop, Microsoft Paint can't, like it's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know if it's to the point where like I guess it's not Microsoft Paint, it's like 3D Paint.
Oh yeah, 3D Paint, okay.
But I was like trying to be like, okay, well I want this guy's hand to go over this thing because it looks like he's holding it. Or he looks like he's blocking it from something, and like you don't have layers, but then I would like smart cut out his hand and then take that out and like sort of move it a little bit and then like perfectly line up the picture that I wanted it to be on, and then like put his hand back, and like it would be a little bit off, and I just like smudge around the corner.
Just smudge it a bit, you're fine.
Yes. I felt like I was hitting peak 3D Paint.
Okay.
I was like, I need to learn Photoshop. So yeah,
I'd say Google Drawing is like on the same level as 3D Paint. It can't smudge anything, but you can like crop things and like move things around and like
I'm sure we're hurting like everybody.
I know, everyone's freaking. When you have a computer, when you're working on a work computer, that's not amazing. At least it can't handle Photoshop. You make do.
Yeah. Because I mean, this started like before I got the computer that I have now. So yeah, the computer that I have now can handle Photoshop. So I guess I'm trying to break habits is really what it is. So yeah.
If it was just like smack my head. Yeah.
It's okay, we're professionals.
Welcome to the next 2 weeks.
Yes. Tune in next week.
Tune in next week for brownies.
We're just gonna show off like all of our photoshopped.
Get ready for my squirrel with bat wings.
Yeah. See, I made like a sales promo thing for a bunch of magic stuff. And so I took magic art and I cut out little tiny like little magic packs. We're just gonna it was Photoshop Titans coming soon to a TV near you. So I took little tiny little magic packs, and it was great. It was great. Not having layers, I was definitely really frustrated with it. So yeah,
that was the whole magic thing, right?
Yes.
That was wonderful. By the way, I loved it.
Agree. I wish it wasn't so outdated now because I took like specific things. But they're small enough that I think we can get away with it.
Oh,
we can use it again. But yeah, that was definitely like I'm gonna ask my friend, hey, how would you do this? Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it this way.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for that Photoshop how to next week.
All right, now I'm gonna go in with, that's not it, the same color. No, contrast Cygor brown, which is just a deeper color than snakebite leather. It's more brown than yellowy. And I am only gonna be dropping this in certain places. But I'm also not going to be really upset if it gets other places, because what I am working with is really watered down. I'm just also using just normal water as well too. I know Games Workshop is like, don't use water with the contrast paints, but I'm kind of technically using them like they're watercolors right now. So, you know, it's great.
How often do you use contrast paints as like a shade? Like how you're doing it?
All the time.
Yeah.
I like them a lot for shading. I like putting them through airbrushes. They're super great. But yeah, I think they're great. I like that they expanded their line. I treat them the same as shades though.
Okay.
They're just more pigmented and less desaturated than shades are. So, but I do definitely treat them the same. So. Yeah, and then when that dries, that'll be darker.
Woo!
Hopefully, eventually. Yeah, cyborg brown.
Cyborg.
That's
what it should be.
Cygor? Cygor.
Yeah.
Cygor? Cygor. I don't know. Whatever. It's a brown. It's a more brown than snakebite leather is. And then I will go in with some Nuln oil. Wow, I can talk today. In a bit, but yeah, you can see how like quickly this goes. It's been about an hour, and then I'll go back through and I will dry brush everything again, probably shade down in some spots, and then for the most part, that's it painted.
Nice.
So yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
It's also like this kit is great for dry brushing because there's just so many little like crevices and details on it, which is why I got another one. I only showed a little bit of hesitation in buying it, but yeah, I've wanted another one for a while. I was just hoping that they would come out with this kit by itself instead of having it be part of like the whole Dondian Stronghold box.
Oh yeah.
Because they did that with some of the other terrain pieces in a different box. It was the little like domed temple that's to the right of you. That was in a different terrain box, and then they came out with it by itself. So I was waiting to see if they would come out with this one by itself, but they didn't. Maybe they still might. I have no idea. But I still could pop the whole entire box anyway.
I mean, it's a beautiful set.
Yeah, I'm not fancy like Adrian, and I get everything for free. So, you know, some people have to work for their stuff. But it's okay. Yeah. It's also another thing of like, this is probably a habit I definitely picked up from my dad, where like, I want it to be mine, and so I will buy it. Because if I let, like, if the studio bought it or whatever, then I'd have to leave it here.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I could show you guys the pictures of the socks on the floor, but I feel like that would be too much. But I feel like the socks on the floor is very evident over how neat things are kept in the studio.
So is this going to be, so have you talked much about the board that you're making with the trees? If you have, I have not heard too much about it.
Okay.
Would you be willing to tell me about it?
Yeah. So let me actually go get them really quick, and then let's switch over to you. Yeah, so I've talked about it a couple times, where I'm building like a spring cherry blossom board. It was inspired by the Sylvaneth temple on your right
Ooh,
over
yeah.
here. Let me actually just get everything really quick, and then I'll put it all on the table. People can see that I do paint and I do complete things. Um, so, yeah.
Yeah, that water, so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It was also a thing of like I painted both of these like at very different times, and I completely forgot the I don't know the colors that I used on all of them. But yeah, so there's also like some buildings that I had 3D printed. Oh no, this broke. That's okay. I will reglue it. These trees are great, but they break all the time. And it's also probably not great that I like did not carry it in very carefully today either. So, yeah. But yeah, it was all inspired by the Sylvaneth shrine, which is this guy right here. And then when they came out with this guy in the Dondian Stronghold box, I was like, perfect, amazing.
Yeah, they fit really well together.
Yeah. These two buildings, the little waterfall shrine that came out in the Dondian Stronghold box, and then
Move over to the.
let's do the top down really quick.
There we go.
Ooh, okay, so you guys can kind of see it, but this is everything that I have so far for my table. Yeah,
Oh my gosh! Wait, did this?
that was 3D printed.
Okay. It's like where did that come from? Love it.
Yeah, there was a customer that we had at I don't want to say had because he's still a customer at the Redwood City store who's super awesome and like backs every like terrain 3D print Kickstarter thing ever, and so he had so many files for me to look through, and then he printed a couple of different bridges for me, but I like this one the most. But yeah, then I have a bunch of like scatter terrain and stuff like that too.
Yes.
But this is everything so far, and then I have like 3D printed buildings that are also on floaty rocks and stuff. Oh, you guys can't see it. But yeah, so got this guy, and I know I painted this guy on stream one time, but I don't think I finished it on stream. So this is what also comes in the Dondian Stronghold box. This one and this were the two new pieces of terrain from that box. So I was hoping that they would come out with them separately.
Yeah.
But Games Workshop did not like me enough.
Oh.
But yeah, and then I think they came out with the terrain that you and Zach painted.
Yeah, that was in the Heart of Gur box. Yeah. Oh, but separately. Have they come out? No. Okay.
Yeah. Well, at least not so far, because those ones came out recently. But I know those ones also have like a dragon skull tree thing.
Yeah, it's not over there. Okay.
It's somewhere.
But yeah, it was like this, like these cool, like wrapped, like almost like the trees are very much like muscles. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that Zach had like a red, gave them like a reddish hue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like this big, cool, very much like that skull, and just place on top one of the trees. And it was
Yeah. So
good.
if the trees didn't look so weird, I think I probably would have been more into it. But I do like the skull that's sitting on top of the tree. But nothing else in that box like super excited me. But yeah, I've been painting this since I think in earnest since the temple came out.
Okay.
But I painted this first just because I wanted to paint it. And I asked a lot of questions of like, I know this is a army terrain piece, like specifically for this army. but can it just be on the board even if like no one fields it technically?
Yeah.
And all the answers I got were yes. So
Okay.
we're great. We're good. But I also wonder if someone would actually play with it on the board, because it is technically like part of an army. So that made it a little bit complicated, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll play when I learn how to play with my Sylvaneth. I'll play on that. I'll put them on that board and I'll play with that. As a terrain piece.
Okay. That's a goal now.
Yes.
For me to complete this, and then for you to complete your army eventually.
Yeah. Together we will complete.
Eventually.
Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually is really what it is. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like taking like something that's supposed to be sort of like not cute and happy and making it cute and happy. And just painting it like kind of brighter colors and stuff. So yeah. Oh, I'm just noticing like it's like a fingerprint on top of something over here. It's okay. I'll repaint it.
Oh no. So is that like your cute hammer? So also, can you tell me about cute hammer? Moving in,
and where that stemmed from?
Where that stemmed from?
Okay, so it was a thing where I saw this post on Instagram of a Eldar Simon ship, I want to say. It was something like that. And someone had painted it like magenta and pink, and then had put a bunch of like white flowers on top of it. And I just thought it was so pretty. And then when they were taking pictures of it, they put it in like a bouquet of flowers. And I'm like, this is amazing. But it also reminded me of like very Pinterest pictures of like, here's a field of flowers, or here's like a candle with like, whatever. And I kind of wanted to take that aesthetic and bring it into like this war game.
Love it.
So
yes.
Yeah, that's what this is, right? And I think there's like a trend going on where like all these guys are frolicking, and they're taking time to frolic, and I want some armies to frolic in this board.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think more people need to frolic and smell the roses.
Yeah.
And especially Space Marines.
So top army or top faction you would like to see frolic through.
Ooh, something gross. Like Nurgle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, because I think Nurgle would like blend in too much because they're kind of green.
So but probably like also angry
demons.
and demons. Yeah.
Demons. I think we have some demons in the studio. So,
there we go.
We
can set up a photo shoot. We can.
I want to make like little tiny, like flower tufts that they can just like tuck into their helmets.
Yes. Yes. Oh.
There's just something like that whole aesthetic of like taking something really mean and scary, then putting something really cute next to it, and then all of a sudden it's just not mean and scary anymore.
Yes.
I want to do that. That's
I like
my goal.
that.
That is my goal. I think I put too much on here. But it's okay. I got this.
Got this.
But yeah. So, both very into tabletop games.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So our top 5 for tonight is very special. Doesn't have anything to do with hobby stuff, but it has everything to do with us and who we are. So we picked our top 5 board games. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go with Lindsay's top 5 board
Okay.
games.
So, being new to the studio, I have listed my top games a lot, but this is going to be a more in-depth list, I guess, or expanded. First up we have Captain Sonar. This is the way I see top lists is you have your solids that would be like the top 3 or top 4, and then you have like one that rotates. That
your current favorite.
Yeah, your current favorite. And currently, that's Captain Sonar for me. I played that a few months ago, and I love it. It's like a team battleship. And the one that I played, or the game that I played, was a little chaotic. But luckily, I was on the non-chaotic side. I was on the calm side.
Oh.
Everyone on my team was just, we were organized. It was great, and it was fun watching the other side and just the chaos
crumble.
And it wasn't even like they were crumbling. It was like they were all happily doing their own thing.
on a team game.
On a team game, yes. Of course, you had the one person who was like running around trying to gather everyone up, but then you had other people just off on their own, picking roses, kind of
frolicking.
Frolicking. They were frolicking, and that was Rochelle. So, which is not surprising, but I love her for it. So Captain Sonar, it's great. It's like it's a team battleship, and
Awesome.
It's great. Next up, we have Above and Below, which I have mentioned before. It's so good. It's your basic resource collection. You're building a town. You're collecting resources. At the end of the game, you add up your points, and whoever has the most points is the winner. But I don't play for points. I play for the story. I don't care about winning. I'm just looking for the story aspect. Because on your turn, you can dive down into the caves underneath and go spelunking. And when you do that, you open up this the storybook. And you have to read a passage from the storybook.
Okay.
And it's like you come across. I use this. This is my example for every time I'm explaining this game. But you come across a fish in the middle of a pond that's playing poker. What do? You can attack it. You can go join it, or you can walk on by. Of course, you have to roll dice to get stuff. Choose one of those. But I just want to dive down into the caves. I just want to read the stories.
It's a story.
Yeah. And some of these passages are fan entries.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So that's really, and it'll say, of course. But yeah, I just love it. And
was it like a Kickstarter game?
It might have been.
Okay.
I'm not too sure because it was alive. And it was going strong when I first found out about it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not too sure. And I don't think any of the other games were kickstarted after. Mm-hmm. I just may not have been.
Well, because I know there's another game by this same manufacturer, Near and Far.
Yeah.
So perhaps,
yeah. I know.
Have you played that one?
Yes, and it's very, very similar to Above and Below. It's in the same world.
Okay.
And same idea. You have you're traveling across this world. And you open up a storybook, and
it's cute.
And I love the art, and it's so good. Next is Saboteur. You're a dwarf, and you are. Have you ever played Saboteur?
No.
Okay. Oh, it's good. So you're a dwarf.
I immediately forgot what your other games were, but I have yet to play any of the ones that have come up so far, which I think is great.
Yeah. So Saboteur is you're a dwarf, and you are
a dwarf.
Yeah, you're a dwarf, and you're digging a tunnel trying to get the gold, like dwarves do. And so it's a card game, and so on your turn, you place a card that will direct where the tunnel goes. You know,
Okay.
so you'll have like a straight piece, or you'll have like a right turn or a left turn, or you'll have a cross or a T, something like that. And so you're building this, you're building this tunnel to try to get to one of the 3 possible gold places. But on your team is one bad dwarf that is messing with everything. And so they may place a card down that puts you in a total different direction.
Okay.
But they could just say, oh, sorry, that's all I had nothing else. Because you can't see what anyone else's hand is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are trying.
sneaky.
Yeah. So they're trying to get you away from the gold. You can break people's tools. You can. Yeah. It's really fun. I love those kind of like sneaky, like
sabotage.
yeah, sabotage.
Yeah.
You could sabotage them. There we go. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, Saboteur. It's great. It's very simple. It's also like a small box, so you can carry it around. It's one of those that I'll like take to my parents' house or friend's house kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Onitama. It's so good. It's one of my favorite 2-player games.
It's like a chess-like game, and I think we both have like a chess-like game. In our favorite games. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite 2-player games. Mostly because like I love the card aspect to it. Have you ever played Onitama?
I've played like half of the game.
Okay,
just to teach someone how to play it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the game.
Yeah.
But what I love is just the different. What I love is just the different styles that you can play. Like I think my turn's ahead.
Right,
You know,
but because the way that you move the pieces like rotates around and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
like
yeah.
I'm looking at all the different pieces, all the different cards, like all the different possibilities. You know,
it's a high strategy.
yeah, high strategy.
Yeah.
But I've also seen people that play just very, you know, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, this seems good right now. Chaotic. Yeah. But yeah.
Which, to be fair, I mean, because it is a chess-like game, can honestly throw someone off,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
planning, like this is the smartest move for them to make, so they're gonna make it, and then they don't.
And then they don't,
yeah.
yeah.
And you're like, well, I need to rethink everything that I just thought of, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that would totally throw off my strategy. So I'm sitting there looking at their cards, like that's what they're gonna play. But if I played against someone chaotic, that would totally change the game. And then Coup.
I have played this.
Yes, I think we've played this together
Yes.
once before, and it's so good.
It's a ton of fun. It's also like the easiest thing of like if anyone's looking for a really quick game, like, oh, what can I play that's like super easy to learn? I'm like, Coup.
Coup, yeah. Looking for a game to take to, you know, a group of people.
Yeah,
Coup.
and it's like super small too.
Yeah.
Coup.
Coup, yeah.
It's a game that we play every like holiday party for a game castle.
Yes.
It's just the easiest thing, even if someone's not super into like board games or whatever. It's so fun, and it's really easy to like get people riled up about it too.
Yeah.
That and Werewolf, I think are staples at
Yeah.
every game castle holiday party.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's just you lie.
Yeah.
Be the last one standing.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, I feel like you have like a pretty good variety
Yeah.
of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let me finish applying this. I'll go into mine. But what are some of your guys' favorite board games? I know that like it definitely goes hand in hand a lot of times with like just hobbying and board games and just tabletop games in general. I think like I think that's what the best part of it is like, oh, I forgot this one aspect of this game. Like if I forget my Magic deck or something, then it's like, well, we could just play this game.
Yeah.
And it's not like a ruined weekend at that point or
Yeah.
a ruined time or anything like that. So yeah, I think board games are great. And I also think like a lot more people have gotten into board games in general lately. But yeah, they're great. Gloom.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go into mine. So Gloom is my like current favorite.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah.
It was something I had played for the first time recently, which is crazy because I've talked to so many people about it and talked about how great it is, and I know the concept of playing it, but I'd never played it myself until recently. I actually played the normal version and then also the fairy tale version.
Okay.
They're not different as far as like gameplay goes too much. The fairy tale version has like this sort of like scorecard that can be passed around a couple times until it's like locked down, and then at that point that's it. But yeah, with Gloom you have a family and you're trying to make them as miserable as possible, and then you know, try and force them to meet their untimely demise. And it's great. And then you're trying to make everyone else's family like super happy, and then they get really mad at you for making their family happy. But I like it. It's so simple. And then you can get like into telling stories and stuff. So
Yeah. That's how I love to play Gloom. Like, just, I like building the story. You know, what's going on here?
Everdell is a resource management. It's a Euro game. So it's a resource management, like engine building, worker placement, stuff like that. Essentially, the gist of the game is you play as a bunch of like woodland critters, and you're trying to prepare for the winter. And so you play from the timeline of the game is like right at the beginning or end of winter, beginning of spring, and then you get like 2 little meeples that you can, you know, have and then get resources, and you build like buildings and stuff. And then you move into summer and you get your meeples back and you get more, and then, you know, you go from there. I wish I could have found like a component picture that was like big enough that wasn't like 200 by 200. But yeah, like you have this like big giant tree in the middle of the board that like holds your meeples and stuff, and it also like perfectly holds the stack of like 100+ cards that is the game, and so they're not like flying all over the place.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But yeah, the components of the game are super, super nice too. And this game is so cute.
Yes.
It's a card game. It's a drafting game, I want to say, or like deck building game. So those of you who are more into like card games and stuff. Autumn Harvest, so the Dragon Tea Society card game, there's 2 different ones. There's the normal one, or the first one, I guess, and then there's the Autumn Harvest. I like the mechanics of Autumn Harvest a lot more. I think it makes the game more simple in a way.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Instead of it being like the same thing over and over again, it adds something else, but then it makes it like, I don't know, more simple, which is really weird because it adds like a rule, but it makes it less complicated, I guess, or less convoluted. But yeah, it's just a super cute game. You pick your tea, and you pick your tea dragon, so you can be like Earl Grey, and he's like this little old gray dragon with like this super long goatee beard.
Yes.
Or, you know, any you can get Chamomile, I think, who's like in the first game, but you're just trying to make your dragon happy, so you feed it, you take naps. It's just really cute. But yeah, and then Tact is my like chess-like game. I've talked a lot about how I love reading books. And Tact is from the Kingkiller Chronicles series. So The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear, and then the 3rd book might be coming out this year.
Ooh.
I don't know, 10 years and counting. So I guess we'll see. But the Tact is a game that they play like in the university in the game.
Okay.
Or in the book. And the cool thing about it is that, I don't know if you've seen like at like other conventions and stuff, they'll have like Tact tournaments. And I think the coolest part about the game is that you can make the grid of the game as big as you want it to be, and then you just add more pieces depending on how big the game is. And so you can play it on like 100 by 100 square board. You just need enough pieces to be able to do that.
That's so cool.
and yeah, and then it has this like stacking aspect that like could just completely changes the game, because for the most part it plays sort of like checkers until you start stacking pieces, and then it's like whoever's piece is on top, you control the entire tower, and then you can pick up the entire tower and then move it, and then every time you move you have to drop at least one piece the further you go.
Oh, that's so cool.
Whoever's piece is on top controls everything that's on the bottom.
Okay.
So it's like you got to pick and choose, you know, how are you going to use your pieces. So
Yeah. I didn't realize that it was from a book. I didn't realize. Oh wow, that's really cool.
yeah.
Like I knew it was by Patrick Rothfuss, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I thought it was just like Patrick Rothfuss felt like making a board game. You know, like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super neat.
Yeah, it's also like it's like a big deal in the book as well too. Like the university students and like the professors and whatever, masters of the game are considered to be like geniuses and, you know, whatever.
Ooh.
But the better you are, the smarter you are. I don't know, whatever. But it's a really fun game. And also I do think it's cool that like it's super easy to then just build your own board and build your own pieces. You just need to know, okay, well, if I have like a 20 by 20 board, how many pieces do I need? And then you just cut them out that way. So
Neat.
And Brute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super big fan of asymmetrical gameplay, which is why I think I like Magic so much. But Root kind of reminds me, and like anytime anyone asks me about it and I know they've played Magic, I'm like, it's like you're playing like a really complicated game of Commander. Everyone's pieces do different things, but you all have the same board that you're playing on, and so your pieces affect everyone else's pieces, just like how your creatures affect everyone else's creatures, and like any enchantments that you have on your game board affect everyone else's stuff. So yeah, Root is a ton of fun, and like a game can take anywhere from like an hour to like 3, depending on how like complicated everyone's factions are and stuff. But yeah, like if you're the Marquis de Cat, you're trying to take over control of or maintain control, I guess, because you start off with control of the entire forest, and yeah, the little woodland creatures are super cute.
Yeah.
They're super cute. And there's a ton of expansions as well too for the game. So
Do you have a favorite faction?
I've played the cat more than anything. So probably the cat, I'd say, but I like the way that the vagabond plays.
Okay.
And if there isn't someone playing a vagabond, I feel like it's like you're losing an aspect of the game. So I don't know. Probably those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Had some pretty great options there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, you know, we both really like board games. I feel like we don't get to talk about them enough.
No.
You know, it's not like it's our jobs.
Yeah. I feel like we're always explaining board games
And not really
and not
playing them.
Yeah. Just
That's
part of the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a treat. It's more of a treat
Yes.
now than it was before, which is crazy. Because I don't know, I feel like people get the misconception of like, oh, you work in a board game store, you get to play board games all the time, and it's like, I get to look at them.
Yeah. Watch people play them a lot.
Talk about them a lot.
Yeah. Watch videos on them, but
Yeah, it was for like the longest time where if we got in a board game that like everyone was super excited about, I'd get it just to get it, and then it would sit on my pile of shame. I guess that would be my pile of shame, not hobby shame, but unplayed board games. I have way too many.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I definitely have a pile of that as well. One day I will play that game. I will play them. Just like one day I'll finish my
eventually. I think that's just the theme of the show. Is eventually.
Yes. Eventually.
All right. All of my washes are down. Now, I really want to make sure that everything is dry before I dry brush it again, because I've made that mistake way too many times. Then you end up like smearing things that you don't want to smear. So,
yeah.
Yeah. But it's super simple.
Yeah. So how many what are you gonna highlight with, or like how many dry brush paints are you gonna use?
Probably just 2.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to that sand color that Zach said that he borrowed. But that would have been a great color to highlight with. But anyway, I have Vampiric Flesh and titanium white that I'll probably make a mixture of in a second. But yeah.
Nice.
How is your stuff going?
We're doing well. We're working on the little the leaf parts and the loincloths of these dryads. So I pretty much just dumped green on it. So I have this alga green, and then orc flesh. Here we go. Ba-bum, these 2 that I just kind of like base the leaves with. Then I just put a wash of crimson on there to kind of, even things out. And then now I'm going in with the bright things. We got Liverly Green, and then one of my favorite paint that I will use even if I really shouldn't, and that's pistachio.
It's such a good color, though.
It is, and like I feel like this stream is not the color on the stream is not giving it justice.
Oh,
like,
the TV is very dark.
Okay,
like,
okay,
yeah.
It's. I love this color. I will find any excuse to put pistachio on things. I painted some space mouselings.
Oh.
And I did their space suit in pistachio. Even though after I was done with it, I was like, I probably shouldn't have done pistachio, but I don't regret it. So, I still enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna make these colors
work.
Work. It's gonna be bright. We're channeling the spring here.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, have you picked out like tufts that you're gonna put on it yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm really bad at like choosing which kind of tufts I want to use.
Okay.
Like I definitely want to cover this in some sort of cover the bases in some sort of like grass green.
Okay.
But as for like what kind of tufts, I don't know yet. I don't quite know. I need to take a shop. I need to shop around with gamer grass.
Have you ever seen and or played with the Static King?
I have not.
Okay.
I've heard Seth describe it. Which I think I was at Westgate one day and he was like talking about the Static King.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
Okay.
I have not.
I wonder, do you want to flock your bases? And make them all grass?
I could flock them. Yeah, we can, hey, yeah. I could do that. This is all about, I just want to like dump these in green.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna put moss on them. I'm gonna cover the base in green and grass. So if like flocking them and doing all of that, I'd do it. I'd do it for my babies.
Now, do you have like a type of forest picked out in your mind already? Like it's deciduous forest? I don't know.
Not really.
That's what forest for.
Not really. I did some research a long time ago into like what kind of trees or like what kind of forest I would want to base these off of. But nothing really stood out to me. Yeah. So I just haven't done enough research on that yet.
I see. I don't know about enough. I think there is like merit to just kind of going for it, right?
Yeah.
Letting the piece speak to you.
Yeah.
As you work on it, because I can't even tell you how many times I've like, no, this is what I'm gonna do, and I will have like reference pictures, and I've talked about, I've talked so much about like, oh, before you get started, like have reference pictures, have an inspiration picture, you know, whatever. And then there's just so many times where I will forget that I have it and I will just not look at it.
Yeah.
Or I just change my mind. I'm like, you know, that was cool, but now I'm feeling this other thing and I kind of like want to go for it. And then I will immediately regret that I don't have a reference picture to go off of the moment I get stuck. Hence why I haven't touched my Legion of the Damned tank in a bit. It's still cool. It's still awesome. And I have a bunch of pictures and stuff that I kind of want to like mush into it. But I feel like I should have done that before I did as much as I did on it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know.
But in the end, what I try to remind myself, like when I'm trying to like, you know, paint something like this, as long as I'm happy with it, you know, there's a lot of like what ifs, like, you know, what if I did this kind of research? What if I, you know, did it this way? But, you know, as long as I'm having fun with it, like, you know, I very fluid in my whole like painting process.
Yeah.
Like I'll just dump things on there. Like I'm kind of feeling green in this one section, or you know, let's put some red on it in this section. And you know, sometimes I feel bad about. You know, it's like, oh, I should organize this more. I should have put more thought into it. But then that suddenly.
Why do you feel that way?
Huh?
Why do you feel that way?
It's. Because, like, I guess it's because I see other people that do that, you know? And it's like they have, like, a whole process. They have a whole layout. Like, you do this first, and then you do that second, and then, you know, you have this whole process that I just don't have. I don't have the patience for. And so I have to kind of, like, that's not my that's not my...
Yeah, that's not your style.
That's not my style. So I have to, like, let that go, not let that bother me. I just kind of dump paint on things, and what if it makes me happy?
It makes
it makes me happy. Yeah. It brings me joy.
No, that's great. I feel kind of bad sometimes when someone asks me a question of like, oh well, how do I do this? I'm like, well, this is how I did it.
Yeah.
But then you can also do it this way. Then you can also do it this way. You can also do it this way.
Yeah. It's however you want.
Yeah. And I always like. I feel bad because then I know they're like, okay, I want to know how you did it, or, you know, what's the way that you've already done it, and not like a theoretical, hypothesized, like what's in your head. But then I don't want to then give off this message of like, no, you have to do it this way. Yeah. Because I just don't think that's how anything creative should be. Unless, of course, it's like you're using a tool, then it's like, this is how you use the tool. But what you then end up creating with that tool is completely up to you. Yeah. And, you know, it's also another thing of like, maybe you can use a tool completely wrong and you get a different result. And so I don't want to stifle anyone's creative process, but also I don't want to overwhelm them. And so when I get asked questions, I'm just like, where do I go from here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally get it.
Like I have a process of how I paint bone right now. But this has changed so much. And it's like a thing of like, well, what's available to me right now?
Yeah.
This? Okay, I'm going to do it this way then. And this is the kind of bone that I'm going to create. It's also a thing of like, I'm sort of trying to make it seem like they're pseudo in the same environment a little bit. So, but yeah.
Yeah. It's also one of the reasons why I love just doing nature things.
Yeah.
Because there is no solid, like you were saying earlier with like armor, you know, all being the same
factory, same paint.
Yeah. You know, nature is very all over the place, and you know, maybe two of my trees look totally different. Well, they're from different forests. There you go.
And they came together.
Yeah. They're friends now.
But no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I think the theme of the show is eventually, and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Use Photoshop however you want to use Photoshop.
Yes.
And use Excel however you want to use Excel.
Yes.
And never feel ashamed to go to a brony fan meetup in a mall.
Which we'll learn about next week. Yes. Ooh.
Yeah. I think I have like a bunch of like wet spots on this, but you know, I will pop these on the glam cam next to what I've already been working on. And you can see, oh dude, they're sort of similar. Okay, that's great. Let's go with that. So obviously you could tell what I worked on today versus what I worked on before. I think the one that I worked on before, I think has a bit more of like an ashy white to it. But I do want to make this new one look more moist. So I'm kind of happy with the yellowish look that I got on it right now, because I do actually want to add some green wash on it. So I wonder, I know we have all of the contrast paints here, all of the new contrast paints. I'm hoping I can find them though. So let's see. But I've just picked up 3 pots of Bealtan green. I thought they were all completely different, but they're all the same. Athonian camo shade. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I do want to add some green to this. That's Typhus Corrosion. That's another Typhus Corrosion. It's great. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks. So, yeah, this being this yellow is actually a plus to me. I think it will make the green that I want to put on look more green. Now, I did grab all 3 of the Bealtan green pots.
They look any different? No.
They are all open.
Love it.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zach. I think this means extra glitter now.
Yes, extra glitter, you know, for the rough month you've been having.
Yes. Just add on to it. Now, this is not open, but it is a different color. And it is the Athonian camo shade. And it's kind of like a brownish green. I kind of want to see what this looks like. Ooh, it's kind of gross looking. But I kind of like it. Let's see what this is. All right. We're all gonna discover this color together.
Yes.
Ooh, it's kind of like a sewage green.
Yeah.
Like a sludge. Which, honestly, I like. But let me see what this Bealtan green looks like. Yeah, I'm kind of upset that they're all open. You know?
Also that there's 3 of them. Well,
it's also like, I know that these smaller ones are
Those
new.
Yeah.
And the fact that the newer ones are open, even though when we did, ooh, that's like super green. I don't know if I like that. Let me see what they're mixed like together though. Okay, I'm gonna mix them because I think the camo shade is too brown, and I think it will just make. I don't think it'll stand out enough against what I'm already doing. But I think the Bealtan green is too green, so yeah. But yeah, so these small ones are new. And this one is an old one. And when we did the studio cleanup, I went through and I labeled all of the shades on their caps because the box was too like big for them to be like laid down like that. So the fact that this has silver writing on it, I get why this one's open.
Yeah.
Don't understand why any of the rest of them are open. But you know,
Yeah.
it's great. They'll be used eventually.
Yeah.
It was also a thing where when we did the studio clean out, I found 6+ pots of Nuln oil.
Whoa.
All of them were open.
Oh, yes.
So.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, thankfully we do go through enough Nuln oil for it to be like, okay, it's not that big of a deal that they're all open, but that's not the total number of Nuln oil pots that I found. It was just those are the number of the ones that were open.
You gotta be prepared for sudden Nuln oil tragedy, which, you know,
It happens.
it happens.
Every once in a while, we do sell out.
Yeah.
And then Zach will go and then buy
Buy the whole stock.
buy the whole stock.
And then we'll be out again.
And then, you know, just be prepared when you get more titanium white ink in to the store to have it all be gone immediately.
So, okay, I've heard whispers, you know, being new here, I've heard whispers of titanium white. Can you tell me about it? Like, what makes it, is it amazing, or like what?
So,
Yeah,
it's a thing where, like, Zach and I both really like thin white paints.
Okay.
And it's just a thing of, like, if I can put this white paint through an airbrush, then I'm going to like it and that it's, like, a good color. Now, he was completely wrong in his opinion of, like, Snow White from Minotaur paints being the best paint. And then I introduced him to titanium white ink, which is my second favorite, to be fair.
Okay.
Because our titanium white by Monument Paints is my favorite.
Okay.
But it's a little harder to get. I can only pick that up at like a convention, mostly just because I don't order them online.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll just pick them up at a convention. But yeah, I don't like Snow White ink or Snow White by Minotaur because I found that it like dries really weird in my airbrush specifically. Like it was leaving like this weird like peelable film.
Oh.
Which is just not
Yeah.
the greatest for trying to like keep my airbrush from clogging. But yeah, the titanium white ink I think honestly is now shifted over to be Zach's favorite. It doesn't give you that like weird peely thing, and it's a lot brighter than Snow White ink, and it is very opaque, and I like it. Now the difference between the inks and the non-ink ones is these have less body to them, like they're not as thick, and so they're transparent, but you get all like the color payoff. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
They're not as opaque.
Yeah.
But they're super strong in color. They're really pigmented. There you go. That's the word I was trying to get at. Yeah, anyway. So yeah,
Okay.
just be prepared when you get every stock of that. Just all of it being gone.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know. Thank you.
It's a thing where, like, the moment I let Zach use this, because I think it was a thing where he couldn't find, or maybe he, like, took home the Snow White Minotaur thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, here, you can just use this. And he's like, well, I don't want to use all your white paint. And I'm like, well, try it. First one's free, kid. And now he's addicted, so, you know. But I do really like the Monument Paints titanium white. Now, why it's called titanium specifically, I have no idea. I think you'd have to ask someone like Seth, who has like a degree in art history. But be prepared for a lecture. So,
Yeah, okay. Oh.
yeah, next time you see him, just be like, why is it titanium? And I'm sure he'll be able to tell you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sean Williams. There's a portal to an alternate dimension where pots of Nuln Oil are transformed into socks and vice versa.
So then, should the socks that are on the floor, we should just leave them there, and then eventually they'll just turn into
Nuln Oil? Yeah. When the great Nuln Oil shortage of fall 2022 happens.
Yeah, okay, so I guess this is now a message for whoever socks those are to just come back into the studio, leave 2 pots of Nuln Oil, and then everything would be great.
Yeah.
And, you know?
It's kind of like the Easter Bunny, but
Ooh,
with socks.
or the Tooth Fairy.
Or the Tooth Fairy?
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Yes.
It's going to add to Titan lore now.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Oh, yes. Adding pistachio was always a good choice.
Unless it's a questionable choice.
Unless it's a questionable choice. Yeah. In that case, it's still a good choice. You'll have weird-looking mouselings, but, yeah, that's fine.
Now, are the mouselings the ones that they look like space marines?
No, they're the spacemen ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're in the little space outfits.
Yeah. Yeah. I love those, like, the little mouse critter things.
Right.
That was actually one of, like, the first models I painted. I think actually the first model I painted to completion was the little chibi Cthulhu by Reaper Models.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's, like, the first one that I, like, tried.
Okay.
And he still exists, and he's at the Redwood City store. So
Yeah.
if anyone makes a trip up there, he's in a case. So you can see him. I did not base him because I did not know what to do, but he's there. Yeah. I was very proud. I mean, I'm still proud for him being my first one. But now that when I look at it, I'm like, okay, I see now where I have come from.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's nice to keep those like first ones around. Yeah, just to see. Just to see, look at the progress. If you're ever feeling like, oh, I'm doing horrible at painting right now or something.
Right, like your squirrel Photoshop.
Yeah, like my squirrel Photoshop. Which we'll show next week. Tune in.
Maybe I'll bring Lou in if I remember. I'll try and grab him from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Seth coming in with the answer to titanium. It has titanium dioxide in the pigment. There you go.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
Speak his name and he shall come.
It kind of feels like, yeah, yeah. That tracks.
There's also a thing where he made sure to mention that January 31st is National Seth Day.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yes.
When he made this announcement to everybody, he made it seem like everyone was in trouble when he was saying it as well, too. You should have seen people sweating at the other stores. It was great. I felt really bad. But, you know, it's Game Castle for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure Santa Clara celebrates Seth Day.
I think Rochelle also found out that, like, there's a day where it's, like, National Hate Seth Day.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
you know.
yeah, we're doing both.
Yeah. All right. I really like this green.
Yeah?
Now, it is making it so that I am going to have to go back in and dry brush again, but I like it. It's making it look kind of gross, but I think I can fix it. But also, like, what's wrong with a little grossness?
Yeah.
I will put him next to the socks. It'll be great.
The socks and the unopened can of Monster.
That I'm, like, refusing to touch.
Does anyone here drink Monster?
Bridger?
Oh.
Maybe?
So
it is like a sugar-free one, so that makes me feel like it's Bridger's.
Okay. Okay. Because, like, answering that question may answer the socks.
Yeah, unless it was like a friend of the studio. Then also like,
Yeah.
why are you taking your socks off, dude? The great sock mystery.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. Maybe we'll find out who they are.
Next week, it's not a hobby stream. It's just a sock mystery.
Sock
mystery stream.
Brony, Photoshop, Excel.
Yeah. Sugar-free monster. That's a life decision right there, according to Michael Cody.
Right, the white ones are the sugar-free ones, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sugar-free. Which, I mean, I don't know. Is it really sugar-free if it just has, like,
There's other things in there.
fake sugar in
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
There's other things in there that I feel like you should be worrying about besides the sugar.
For some reason, every time I have anything with, like, fake sugar in it, I get the biggest headache.
Oh.
I get the biggest headache and I hate it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna not have this ever.
And I feel like fake sugar has like a taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I have something with fake sugar, I taste it. And it's like, oh, no.
I'd rather just have normal sugar
Yeah,
or just not have
Give me the
this.
real thing.
Yeah. I'll just have less of this. It's fine.
Oh my goodness, my babies.
Yeah.
Looking so bright.
I was going to pick it up. I was going to do something that I shouldn't. And then I stopped myself, mostly just because I saw that there were like crumbs on this.
Oh gosh, the crumbs too. Just really add to it.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, now I gotta wait for this to dry again. So I think while we're waiting for it to dry, let's get into fan stuff.
Yeah.
So because we didn't stream last week, I did go back a little bit further, but I also held myself back a little bit. I didn't want to do another like two folder fan stream thing again. Didn't want to do that. So, but yeah, I picked these before you got here, so you haven't.
I have
seen
no
them
idea.
yet.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Now this is one shot of this like really cool piece of terrain. Now the other side of it, I wish I could show both of them, honestly, but I had to pick one. The other side of it is just all of that turquoise color.
Oh my gosh, so it's like, oh wow.
Which I thought was super cool. And then it's like you turn it around and it's like this yellow, brown, whatever. But also I have painted several of these, and the amount of time it takes to go in and paint all of those little like servo, like whatever mecha stuff thing.
Yeah, like the in between parts and stuff.
Like in between the plaster of the building kind of thing. I have never done that because I'm too lazy. And I've only ever painted this for like a store, so at most I'll like rattle can it, like maybe 2 different colors, and then dry brush it, and that's it. So to see this fully painted was a treat. But also definitely go check out the terrain part of the Discord, because there are a bunch of different colors, or pictures, sorry, but also colors. Now, this is like an Arizona green tea space marine.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, actually, here, let me do something really quick, because I didn't do this, which I should have. But yeah, this monitor, we say it all the time, is very dark and doesn't like to show the right colors, but at least now you can see it a little bit better.
Yes.
The screen isn't
yeah,
turned
now
away
now
from
I
you.
can see the flowers.
Okay. It is super cute.
Yeah.
Super cute. Super cute. And I think that there was someone who was doing cherry blossom Eldar, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. but that's also what this reminded me of. But I also love Arizona green tea, so it was great. Of this one is an Imperial Fist, done very, very, very well.
Yeah.
With some lovely non-metallic silver and also just some cool basing.
Yeah, that basing. Whoa. I'm trying to see, like, so that, is that like chain on the bottom? Like the
barbed wire
The barbed wire. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's super
that's
cool.
beautiful.
It's super cool. I like it a lot. Very, 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 very good on this one. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if you can see it from here, but the bottom like faceplate of the dreadnought is free-handed, and it's like a face, like one of those like Oni masks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was actually, what I found was a lot of people were trying their hands at free-handing the past couple weeks, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But this one was really well done. I liked it a lot. And it also was really cool where like the helmet then blended into the rest of the armor. So, yeah. It's super cool. And I also think the basing on this is awesome. The weathering is really good. And I don't know. I think dreadnoughts are growing on me. I didn't like them at first because they were kind of like bulky.
Yeah.
They looked a little strange, but I don't know. Just seeing a lot of people painting them up, especially for like the Sons of Horror stuff. I don't know. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
And there's like a lot of flat spaces, like big flat spaces. So there's space to have fun, like doing the mask part.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. So I think AK makes barbed wire, but there's also Foreground Scenics makes barbed wire stuff that you can put into your basing and whatever. I know AK makes chains as well too of like different sizes, and so that's always really great. And they also have this really cool product that I don't know if I'll get, but I think it's awesome, and it's these little tiny like lenses that you can put on your guns that then like catch the light of stuff, and they're all different scales and everything. But yeah, they make really cool basing stuff. It's like $7 for 3 of these little tiny things, and so to do a whole army like that, I don't know, but yeah, yeah. Some Necrons.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a couple other pictures of the dudes, Now, I've struggled before, but not having anyone here not know is great. So there's a couple pictures of the smaller dudes, whatever those are called as well too. But I like these guys a lot. But yeah, they're just some cool like classic Necrons.
Yeah, I one thing I really like about Necrons is the bright green. Like you have the metal body and then just like the bright green that just stands out, and so yeah, it's one of the things that I really love about Necrons.
The contrast.
Yeah, the contrast. Yeah.
Now, do you think they could use some pistachio?
Oh yeah. Just as like highlighting that green, really making it pop. Pistachio. Ooh.
No, this one's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a different picture of him front on, but I liked like how the blade almost looks like it's coming at you.
Yeah.
But speaking of that pistachio green,
it needs some pistachio, but it's great.
I liked the edge highlighting on it. I thought the edge highlighting on this was really clean. It's also like a testament to like contrasting colors of like you have the really dark teal with the super bright green on top of it. It makes it look like it's glowing a little bit.
Yes.
And then everything else being like really dark, I like a lot. So good job on this guy, whoever he is. I'm sure chat will
And it's
tell
like
us.
like you could see all the different layers, and even from the far away,
Yeah.
it looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks super cool. Free-handed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so what I meant by,
What?
like, it seems like everyone was trying their hand at freehanding, and this one, like, was really impressive. Yeah. And it's all red, but, like, different shades of red, and so you get all that cool, like, detail in there. But this was very, 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 very impressive. Super awesome.
Yeah. Just, all this freehanding, it's just blowing me away.
Now, what I want to know is, like, is this the final project? Are you going to shade around it? Or was this just a test? Because that makes me kind of sad. But this bird was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more.
Yeah.
I want to see more freehanding. I don't know. Like, I was pleasantly surprised as I was scrubbing through people's pictures and stuff, is how many people are getting into freehanding. And there was also one other one where there was like a chaos symbol on the back of a tank. I didn't include it in this one, but it did stand out to me. So whoever you are, good job on the work in progress. But it was just one color so far. But I want to post it like when it's like done. So this is crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 1,200 points to Space Marines, I want to say. Okay. I think that's what the person said. But what was super impressive to me was that they're all, one, painted to the same quality. Two, all of their bases are also the same as well too. Oh. And if you wanted to see them closer, like if you go over to the to the monitor over there, like you can see like all of them have multiple pieces of tufts on them. All of them have like a bunch of detail and stuff on them.
Oh.
And they're on their way. They're super close to 2,000 points. So it's also like, when I'm seeing something like this, and knowing that Space Marines are a lot more points than like Gloomspite are, for me to get up to this point with Gloomspite, I'm like, it's gonna be so much more. But yeah.
So it's always impressive when someone has a full army, and they're all at the same standard. They're yeah. That's a lot of work. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, this one was super cute. This was super cute. It was a gift that person made for their grandmother.
Oh.
And it was like a little diorama project that they made. Now there's like close-up pictures and stuff of everything, of like close-up pictures of the netting and of the boat and of the water. I just thought it was adorable, and it was just really well done and put together. And the fact that it's like a gift too made it super sweet. Yeah. So the diorama is really, really, really cute. Oh, Timbit is saying that the bird was theirs.
Oh.
So good job.
Yeah.
Sad that it's just a test. I hope you keep it, because it was really cool. It was really cool.
Ooh.
Some orc dude. I don't know if you can see it from here, but like those are his eyes.
Well,
I gotta the big white goofy things.
I gotta walk up to the monitor.
They almost remind me of
yes,
googly eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everything else around it is like super painted really well. So I thought it was super cute. But his eyes are like all wonky and crazy, which was definitely like a purposeful effect. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but they did point out that was their favorite part. So.
Yeah, it really brings it all together and just gives it a lot of character. It's so good.
Yeah. It was my favorite part too. Like everything else about it is really impressive, but then you see the eyes and it's just like, oh, that's an orc.
Yeah.
this one's from Fear. Now, I just like the pastel purple.
Yeah.
It pastel purple, and like I like the brown along with it as well too, or like the rusty red. But I want to see like a full army like this. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, pastel purple, brown, and bone. I don't really see those colors like together a whole lot. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, that's super neat.
So great job, Fear.
Yeah.
This is from Soups.
Aw, Soups.
Yeah, I just completely lost what these are in my head. I knew it. So that's another thing too, when I go through and like pick out the pictures, is I'll read what everyone is saying about all of them. Most of the time I remember most of it. I'm sorry, I just completely forgot. I think these are like Zangor or something. But yeah, I don't know. I like them. They're like cool and blue.
Yeah.
And also there's just something about like a whole squad fully painted up, fully based up. That's just like, man, eventually that will be me.
Yeah.
But yeah, great job, Soups.
Also, alternate color too, like from like the usual, which I always like to see. You know, like the pastel purple marine and
these
the
are
Arizona tea marine.
Is each. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this, I know, was a kit bash of something. I think a demon prince, but they replaced his head with some tentacle-y things. Now, if I get it wrong, then I am very sorry, but I know that at least they replaced his head with some tentacle-y stuff, which I thought was really cool. But I don't know, I'm getting more and more into kit bashing and like learning how to blend two like models together and stuff, and like even just throwing in like just some random bits, I think really helps make a model yours. And I think it might also just be a thing of like, I've seen a couple of Adrian's models when they're not painted, but just like here's the green stuff, and like you can pick out pieces of like what he's added onto it. Because I know Adrian's like kit bashing king.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I don't know, it's cool. It makes them yours.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bits. Nurgle, dude, thing. Demon Prince, I think. Nurgle Demon Prince. I think that's what that means. Nurgle dude person. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Kragnos. Right?
Yeah. Kragnos.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was cool. There's a couple of other pictures of him as well too. But yeah. It was just a really great Kragnos. Now I did have to cut off the base a little bit in order to get this guy to like fit.
Yeah, he's tall. He's got
because what OBS likes to do is like it likes to sort of like squish everything down to be the same size. But if the aspect ratio is really off, it will like flip it to be horizontal. So I did have to cut the base off. I am sorry, but I wanted to get the cool Kragnos in. So, yeah,
it's so neat. I love this like all the like the body chains, jewelry, or shields, bits,
chuff. Yeah,
chuff. Yes. That he has.
His armor, I guess.
Yeah. But it's like...
It looks more like decor.
Yeah, I feel like it's decor. Because I was looking at a Kragnos model earlier today. And yeah, it's like... he's like an
accessory queen.
Yes, an accessory queen. He needs some glitter. No, this model does not need glitter. This model's amazing, but
I think all the models in here are eventually going to get glitter once Zach finds all the glitter, or doesn't find all the glitter.
Yes.
Ooh. Tune in next week or at some point.
2 weeks from now? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Are we foreshadowing?
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Great job, guys. Great job.
So amazing.
Yeah. Where are you at?
I'm adding pistachio.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got some pistachio on these bros.
Yeah. Did you wanna throw?
Yeah,
up
let's
on the
see
on
how
the glam
they're
cam
looking.
here?
Yeah, we'll go with you. Who's looking good?
These are looking very shiny, but I think for the most part they're kind of dry, except for like where it's like globbing a little bit. So I'm gonna try dry brushing, because I at least want to get the painting aspect done.
There we go. We'll have them hanging out with the.
Now there was a point where, when I first thought about getting into,
There we go.
when I first cute.
Yeah.
When I first thought about getting into Warhammer, where I wanted to do a Imperial Knights army, because that's the least model count that you need.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make them like pretty princess themed.
Oh yes.
Just to like upset people. Oh my gosh, they like blend in perfectly.
They do. They do.
That's so good.
Once they get their tufts and they're green. Yes.
Yeah. So I have thought about covering some 40K models in some glitter. I was told by someone who I probably shouldn't have been taking advice from in the first place that no one would ever play with me if I had models like that. But at that point, you know.
Yeah. Do you want to play with them?
Exactly.
If they don't want to play with your glitter model.
If someone doesn't want to play with my pretty princess Imperial Knights, then maybe I don't want to play with them.
Yeah.
Now, then I painted a knight, and then I figured out, like, okay, it's a lower model count, but it's just as much work. You know, then I was like, okay, maybe I won't do this. And then I didn't, yeah. I didn't, yeah. I've talked about it before, but the first night I painted, and the only night I've painted, was for Zach's like 40K club thing, and it was a prize for an event that they held.
Oh.
And yeah, I was super proud of it. I thought I did a really good job. But yeah, oh, those look super cute.
Yeah. They look at home.
Which, in a forest, I think that's fantastic. And also taking like a terrain piece that I don't think was originally designed to be in a forest and making it be like, oh no, look at these forest nymphs things. And they look right at home next to it. So I think that's great.
So you're at the dry brushing part now?
I am at the dry brushing part.
Yeah.
However, I don't know exactly how my dry brush is. It's feeling a little wet, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. I do want to finish painting at least, and then maybe next week I will finish. I don't know if that will take as long as it should, but I can definitely drag it on. And as we talk about your brony meetup and our photoshopping adventures, I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, let me grab these buddies from the glam cans. So I could add more pistachio.
Now, would you say like that is your favorite color?
Yeah. Especially from the AK 3rd Gen line. Yeah, there's just something about it. But like I love all the other colors that line has. Like it
stands out.
It does
for sure. I also think the name helps it as well too.
Yeah,
pistachio.
Right? It was also I noticed it when we first got it in because it was one of 3 colors that we didn't get in with the whole display.
Oh.
Yeah, there was 3. There was pistachio. I don't remember the other 2.
Okay.
You know, just
that were missing.
That were missing, yeah.
Oh.
And we didn't get it in for a while. But when we did, yeah, I gave it some love.
Yeah, now I'm trying to remember if we were missing something. I think we were. I think we got 2 of one color and then not 1 of like another color.
Yeah.
But it was just a gray.
Yeah, I think the other ones were just like, it was like a gray and like a blue, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Gosh.
Now, I don't really see the green anymore. But I guess we'll see on this other one. So, you know.
Bryce uses pistachio green and luminous green to highlight his Necrons. Good choice, Bryce. It really just really adds that brightness.
Yeah.
Adds that like glowing.
Yeah. Because it's like a yellowy green too. It's not just like, here's a lighter green, like a pale green, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a vibrant green, I would say. For sure. Now this piece, I don't know. I just like it so. Okay, now this one I can see the green on a little bit more, which is fine.
Does that jaw piece attach, or is it separate?
So
I was trying to move the one over there, and like the jaw didn't go with it. I was like, oh.
So there is like a little socket here, but if you like glue it into the socket, it like, there's like a centimeter that it like lifts up from.
Oh.
And there was a point where I tried gluing it into the socket, but like it doesn't make enough contact for that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of like keeping it separate.
Yeah, you can.
Because then I can like put the jaw like way over here
Yeah.
or something, or like, you know, this way. I don't know. It just gives it more variety. If I cannot attach something, then I won't attach it. But it's also a thing where like, this is just such a small piece that,
Yeah.
you know, I tried attaching it and it didn't want to go. So I guess that's a non-answer for you. Does it attach? I have no idea because I've never read the instructions when I've put this together. So yeah, 'cause the first time I got that one was from the studio's Bondi and Stronghold box. And I just took the sprue with me because Zach, I believe, was going to assemble like the walls and the buildings in it. And so I left the booklet here because I'm like, oh, I can put this together, no problem. It's just one single sprue.
Yeah.
And I can see where everything needs to go. So, you know, I'd never read the instructions about whether or not it needs to attach. And in my mind, the answer is no.
That is valid.
Should it? Probably. If it was something that I was making for the store, I would 100% glue it on. But since it's my own thing, I know I'm pretty good about putting like my stuff away, so I don't think I'll ever lose it.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it.
So chat's going crazy with an alternate universe right now.
Ooh. Let's
It's
only drink smoothies. Okay.
So, yeah.
I really need to scroll up.
yeah. We need to. I just keep looking up and just seeing alternate reality stuff.
Bridger needs to be a meme. Okay. Stachio. Wario. I get it now. Stachio, the evil Italian twin of Bridger. I get it now.
Okay.
I get it.
It's just Bridger with a handlebar mustache.
Yeah, it's Wario Bridger. Now I want to see like Warrior Bridger and what that would be like.
Yeah, right? Is he wearing a hat? Yeah.
Never charges, plays cautionary. Ooh, is a foodie. I feel like
Cooks every meal.
we're just turning him into Zach now.
Yeah. Hates Baja Blast.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
man bun.
So there was a point where when the studio computer crashed, and the laptop that we were streaming off of could only support 2 cameras, and so it was like one person was here and then another person was off producing. And I know Bridger was one time one of those people, and he was talking about how he was eating a salad and drinking some Mountain Dew that was left in the fridge. You know, had been there for a while. He didn't know whose they were, just like how he's claiming that those aren't his socks. And then I was just like, wow, he's eating a salad. And then I came into the studio the next day, and his salad was in, what was left over of his salad was in the trash. He had eaten all of the croutons, all of the cheese, all of the chicken. Majority of the lettuce was still there. And I'm like, okay, this is less impressive now.
Ah! Oh, no.
So if anyone wonders how Bridger eats a salad, he doesn't.
There you go.
He likes the crunchy toppings, and that's it. So yeah.
So the War Bridger would eat the
only
eat
the lettuce. Doesn't like croutons. Oh gosh.
Now they're getting into what John?
Ooh, doesn't like chilies. I think everyone in the studio should just have like a Negaverse version of them.
Yes.
And then we'll just make little like Photoshop versions of them, and
there you go.
Like we'll just tape them around the studio, along with the glitter.
Along with the glitter.
That's what we're gonna hide around the studio. So you know, guys, when you come back, that's what you have.
Look forward to that.
Yep. I hope you guys having so much fun at Nova. You know, as much fun as Lindsay and I are having here. The studio is going to be totally fine. Don't worry about it.
It is in safe hands. Good.
I will somehow get a hold of some Google Street View cameras.
Oh.
I was very upset. I was very upset. I know it was a stress stream, but I want to like reiterate how upset I was. I felt very bad that I could not use them, and they were just gyroscoping around. I thought I broke them. It was it's great, awesome. I think I am finishing up here.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think I waited long enough to dry brush this one. It's a little wet, but it's okay. I can fix it. It's okay.
Yeah, it still looks very good.
It
still looks amazing.
Looks like it's the same bones.
Yeah, it looks like bones. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
No, it looks great.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Okay, so the war version of John is Johnny-O. Johnny-O drives the Hummer.
Ooh.
Winner of Beard of the Year for 22 years in a row. Yeah.
I will go.
Those look good next to each other.
Back and scrub through chat, and we'll get everyone's personalities. I want to make like what's a Negaverse.
Negaverse Cat is actually a stamp collector.
Yeah. The opposite of me. What's a Negaverse Zach?
Someone was saying earlier that it's just Bridger.
Yeah, just doesn't care.
Yeah. So like they swap when they go into their
okay.
Nega versions. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Anyway,
Johnny-O wrestles bears as a workout.
here's the painted version. I'm gonna call that mostly done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through and paint the horn parts with Nuln oil. That just takes like several coats though, so I won't bore you guys with that.
Is that what you did with the other one? Like that how you got it that different color? Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Why I didn't just paint it black, I don't have an answer for you. But my thinking was like, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit opaque and like still get that bone color underneath it.
No, yeah, I really like the way the horns look on on the first one that you did.
Thank you.
So yeah, I have to do the same.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just painting pistachio. Probably paying too much attention to the details of my little dryads, but they're my babies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take care of them. So yeah, just adding pistachio. I'm trying to like differentiate the little leaves and cleaning up little areas and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as we conclude the NECA version of the Titan Studio, where Lindsay and I are the most knowledgeable on Warhammer.
I read all the books, know all the lore,
Yeah. To be fair, I think I'm going to make some people mad at this. I tried listening to the Horus Heresy audiobooks. I got maybe an hour in, and I then switched to a different audiobook.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a thing where like I zoned out too much in the beginning, but it just starts you off at like 100 immediately, and I'm like, I need some build up to this.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try somewhere else.
Yeah.
With trying to get into it. But anyway, that's your stream for tonight, folks.
Yeah.
So tune in next week for more of us. And I will be basing and putting in the tufts and everything and all the finishing stuff on the bones. What will you be doing?
I'm probably going to be doing the same as tonight.
Pistachio.
Pistachio. Adding more pistachio everywhere. I may get them to a point where I'll be doing more basing stuff. That's my goal. So next week I'll be adding the green to the bases instead of to their loincloths.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, I have a ton of basing stuff, so maybe we can just split that up. But
definitely.
Awesome.
Have fun with tufts. Okay.
Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week for all of this fun, good stuff again, and also Lindsay's brony story.
Yes.
And us sharing our first adventures into art. Yeah. As we like to say around here, and hopefully I don't mess it up, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and always be creating.
Yeah.
Bye.